But Friday the 13th is
Today.
This is the definitive list of the top 5 times famous guests appeared completely intoxicated on The Tonight Show, creating live on-air disasters. In the classic era, Johnny Carson frequently dealt with Hollywood legends who could not remember their own names. While some appearances were charming chaos, others forced the host to survive agonizing minutes of unpredictable television. Number 1. The heartbreaking chaos of Truman Capote. In 1980, the celebrated author Truman Capote arrived severely intoxicated, delivering one of the most uncomfortable interviews in history. The man who wrote In Cold Blood could barely walk to the guest chair, shuffling his feet and needing to steady himself on Johnny's desk. Capote slurred almost every word, making his speech completely unintelligible. When Carson asked about his latest writing project, Capote launched into a bizarre story about a party in the Hamptons and someone's dog. Then, out of nowhere, he turned toward Ed McMahon and asked dead serious if he could sit in his lap. He later grabbed a glass of water, missed his mouth, and spilled it down his shirt. Johnny called for an early commercial break, and Capote was never invited back. Number 2. The wild hurricane of Shelley Winters. Shelley Winters' 1974 appearance was legendary chaos as she arrived acting like a hurricane. She interrupted Johnny non-stop and made it impossible for the 2 other guests to say a single word. She grabbed a young actor's knee hard and mercilessly mocked his new movie on national television, calling his performance wooden. The absolute peak of the chaos happened when she noticed the writer's note cards on the desk. She reached across, snatched the entire stack right out of Johnny's hands, and threw them behind her over the couch like garbage. Carson sat speechless as the cards scattered, eventually taking an early commercial break. NBC producers immediately blacklisted her for nearly 3 years. Number 3. The endless monologue of Orson Welles. In 1975, the brilliant Hollywood director Orson Welles arrived after consuming multiple bottles of wine. While he was clearly tipsy, he was also eloquent, brilliant, and completely intoxicated all at once. Johnny asked a single question, and Welles launched into a staggering 14-minute monologue without stopping. He detoured from genuinely insightful Shakespeare analysis into his own career, theater history, and a random anecdote about a Hungarian director. At one point, he tried to quote Hamlet, forgot the actual lines, and made up completely new lines that sounded Shakespearean with total confidence. Johnny sat there exhausted, glancing at the camera with a look that clearly said he had completely lost control of the live broadcast. Number 4. The drink incident with Oliver Reed. British actor Oliver Reed was notorious for his heavy drinking and highly unpredictable behavior on talk shows. In 1975, he appeared on the program alongside actress Shelley Winters, and the tension was immediately obvious. Reed, clearly under the influence, began sharing highly controversial and outdated opinions about the role of women in society. Winters strongly disagreed, leading to a massive, heated argument right in front of Johnny Carson. As Reed continued to provoke her with his attitude, Winters finally reached her absolute limit. In one of the most shocking moments in television history, she stood up, grabbed her glass, and poured her entire drink directly over Oliver Reed's head on national television. Johnny sat caught perfectly in the middle, expertly maintaining his professional composure while dealing with a completely soaked, stunned guest and a studio audience that was completely losing their minds. Number 5. The fencing lesson of Peter O'Toole. In 1978, the legendary British actor Peter O'Toole arrived on the show after an afternoon of heavy drinking. When Carson asked a simple question about his famous film Lawrence of Arabia, O'Toole completely ignored it. Instead, he delivered a brilliant, insightful lecture on acting before suddenly spiraling into confused, rambling stories. The true chaos began when O'Toole suddenly grabbed Johnny's pen right off the desk, pretending it was a sword, and forced the host into an impromptu fencing lesson on live television. Johnny was laughing but clearly working hard to regain control of the broadcast. Despite the wild, unpredictable stories he shared that night about his friends, O'Toole remained incredibly charming. Carson kept bringing him back over the years, proving that an unpredictable Peter O'Toole was far more fascinating to watch than most sober guests. So looking back at these highly controversial television moments, I have to ask, which of these guest stories shocked you the most? Or are there other notorious moments we missed? Please let me know your honest opinions in the comments below. And if you appreciate learning the true history of classic television, please hit that like button and make sure to follow us for more amazing stories.